Hello Internet, my name is Ryan Ingram. I've recorded a few other videos about the SBA loan, and in those videos I have talked about my process, the fact that I'm setting up a separate checking account specifically for these funds, and then I have also kind of addressed the most common questions that I get on these videos, which is what can I use these funds for? And now, don't get me wrong, there are several people out there that are trying to kind of abuse these funds and use these things for things that you're not supposed to. And then there is also a group of people that are asking tons of these questions that just probably aren't quite clear about how to appropriately use these funds, record these things, and then what to do with your business income in addition to that. So in this video, I seek to clarify exactly how to go about and think appropriately about these funds that you've received. Now, keep in mind, I am not a CPA, so for your specific circumstances, you must, if you have any true discrepancies or uncertainty on whether or not you should use the funds for what you're intending to, reach out to a CPA or an attorney. Please do not get yourself in trouble over this. It's not worth it. All right, so the first thing that I really want to reiterate is these SBA funds are specifically to help you maintain and sustain your business throughout this pandemic. Because all of the government mandated closures, because of all of the government mandated guidelines that people have to abide by, all of the things that we're familiar with, this is not to improve, expand, or in any way benefit, like in a profitable way, your business. If you are awarded $60,000 from the SBA, you are not to immediately put that in your pocket and carry on your business. That will get you in a lot of trouble. So a lot of these comments are people trying to kind of misuse these funds, and that is not what they're for. So I can't say this enough, and I just want to go ahead and write this up, that these funds are specifically for you to sustain or maintain your business throughout this pandemic. Now that we're on the same page about that, please do not ask me how you can use these funds for things that are clearly in the guidelines that you should not use them for. Okay, now in the other SBA video, I discussed exactly how I separate all of my funds so I don't get confused, and I follow Mike McAllowitz, his Profit First. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. But if you want to know more about this, please go back and watch that video. I think it's very helpful. But in this video, let's talk just about the sequence and the flow of your funds. So for your small business, you have clients or your income. So your income comes in to your business. It goes into your bank account. Now, all of our businesses have expenses. So out of this bank account flows expenses to different vendors. So for this particular example, let's say you have a vendor that you pay $500 to every month, $100 to every month, and then another $300 every month. Because when this pandemic occurred and all of the government mandated shutdowns or guidelines were imposed, then your income probably went down a good bit, a substantial bit, or completely. So when this happened, the government came up with the EIDL, the EIDL Loan, or the PPP program. And in that, they gave small businesses a chunk of money, and they are being very particular about the vendors or expenses that those are used for. So you have the SBA money now that you received, and as I mentioned, I have a separate bank account specifically for this SBA money. So for this example, let's say you received $1,000 here from the SBA. Just to keep this very simple, let's say in this account for this particular month, you made $1,000 and you have all of these expenses to cover. Now let's just say that the SBA awarded you $1,000 of the EIDL funds. As we already discussed, and as I was mentioned in other videos, the SBA is very particular about how you use these funds. They are only for authorized expenses. Now, let's say that these are your authorized expenses. They're all covered by the SBA loan. So you're going to pay for these out of this account. Okay, so for this example, let's say that all of these are your regular monthly expenses and they are also all approved by the SBA EIDL fund. They're all authorized uses of these funds. Okay, so the way that I am keeping my records and what I am doing is exactly like this. So out of the $1,000, I'm going to pay this expense. So this $500, I'm going to remove the money from my bank account, making this now $500. And when I spend this money, I'm going to upload the invoice, paid receipt, and any other docs. I'm going to scan these in and I'm going to upload these to a Google Drive folder labeled SBA. At that point, and only after I have done this, I am now going to take $500 and reimburse my bank account by that amount of money. So now I log online, I go into my bank account, and I transfer $500 from the SBA money into my normal operating expenses account. Does that make sense? Pretty simple, right? So now we're going to do the same thing for this other vendor that wants $100 from us. That is an authorized expense by the EIDL. So you're going to go ahead, you're going to grab your invoice, you're going to go ahead and grab your paid receipt and any other documentation that you have, and you're going to upload that to your Google Drive folder. Now, once that's done, once all of your records are in place, now you're going to go online and you're going to transfer that $100 from the SBA money into your normal operating expense account. And again, you go ahead, you make this $300 purchase to this vendor out of your funds. That's going to knock you down to $700. You're going to pay for this. You're going to collect the invoice, the paid receipt, and then any other supporting documentation you might need. You're going to throw that up into your Google Drive folder so that you can have access to that at any given time you need. And then, and only then, once you get your records in order, are you going to go ahead and transfer that $300 from your SBA money back into your operating expense account, which kicks you back up to the original $1,000 that you made from your clients. Now, do you see what has happened? You have used $900 worth of your SBA money. We started at $1,000, and now we only have $100 of SBA money left. You have only used the SBA money to make these authorized, approved purchases. Now your business has $1,000 in its operating expense account, and you have all supporting documentation that you need proving that you appropriately used the SBA funds. What are you going to do with your business's $1,000? Now, the government is not asking, how do you use your money normally from your business? Your business can make several purchases that aren't authorized by the SBA, but you better not touch this money for anything that isn't authorized by the SBA. This will get you in trouble, but after you've made authorized purchases and utilized this SBA money, now any money that is already existing or now existing into your bank account can be used at your discretion because you're the business owner and you have discretion over any income inside of your business accounts. Now, please remember that I am not a CPA. This is just my understanding of how to go about proving that you used the SBA funds for the things that you needed to use the SBA funds for. For all of the people that wanted to, let's say, give themselves a bonus, buy a pony, buy new equipment, open a new location, pay off high interest rate credit cards, restructured debt, and all of the other things that you shouldn't use the SBA fund money for. That doesn't mean that your business can't do these things after you make all of the approved expenses utilizing the SBA funds. So if you have any other questions, if you want me to clarify anything, please let me know, but please do not ask or seek my permission to use these funds for something that you know you cannot use them for. And also remember that I am not a CPA, your accountant, your bookkeeper, or your attorney. So do not take any actions on anything that I've said in this video. Now, if you want to hear more of my opinions on all of this, again, not actionable, just my opinions, then please click this playlist and we could talk about it for as long as you'd like. Thanks so much. Can't wait to hear your questions, comments, or see any of your concerns. Thanks. Talk to you guys soon.